All right, let's get into it. Today, we're tackling a challenge that I'm sure is familiar to many of us. If you're on the board of a long-standing family business, how do you honor that incredible legacy while still pushing for the innovation you need to survive? It's a tough balancing act. We're going to lean on some really sharp, hard-won insights from Megan Jude, who's the chairman of the 170-year-old Ideal Industries, to build a practical framework.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down that core tension. Then, we'll look at the governance structure you absolutely need to manage it. After that, we'll explore what a truly strategic corporate board looks like, and I'll share the single most critical tool for accountability. We'll wrap it all up with a toolkit you can take with you.
Okay, let's start with that central challenge. You know, it's this delicate dance that every single board in this kind of situation has to navigate.
Ah, this phrase. Megan Jude calls this her least favorite phrase on the whole planet. And you can see why, right? As directors, we've all been in a room when someone says this. It's the ultimate conversation stopper. It's the sound of a legacy morphing from a powerful asset into a heavy anchor, just shutting down new ideas on the spot.
Because, let's be honest, legacy is a total double-edged sword. On one side, it's this phenomenal asset. I mean, it gives you the capital to fund innovation, a reputation built over a century, and this incredible well of institutional knowledge. But the other side can breed this dangerous complacency, a resistance to change that can absolutely cripple a company in today's world.
So, how do you manage this? How do you get the best of both worlds? Well, the answer isn't some magic bullet. It's all about having a robust, intentional framework. It all comes down to governance.
At Ideal Industries, they use this really powerful structure built on two distinct pillars. And here's the absolute key. You have to separate the governance of the family from the governance of the business. So you have a family council for the owners, and you have the corporate board for the company. Two separate jobs. The family council's job is to act as a kind of protective shield for the business. It manages the owners, it handles ownership policies, and, crucially, it distills the family's collective voice into a single, orderly channel to the board. Think of it as the antidote to the kind of chaos we all watch on shows like Succession. It stops family drama from derailing corporate strategy.
And this is the point that really needs to sink in. Megan Jude is crystal clear on this. If your family governance is a mess, or if it doesn't even exist, that dysfunction is going to spill over. It's inevitable. Your corporate board will end up spending all its time managing family politics instead of actually guiding the business.
Now, once you have that solid family governance in place, the corporate board is finally freed up to do its real job. And that job isn't to be a passive oversight committee. It has to be an active, forward-looking, strategic leader. Now take a look at this. This is how Ideal's board is put together, and it's really deliberate. See that? 4 independent directors. That means they have a majority of outside voices in the room. This structure is specifically designed to bring in that vital external expertise, to challenge the status quo, while the 3 family directors make sure that the legacy perspective is always honored.
A strategic board like this is actively building the future. It's out there recruiting talent not for the company we have today, but for the one we need to be tomorrow. It sets up dedicated committees for things like innovation, helps management tell the difference between a real opportunity and just a shiny distraction, and, this is so critical, it makes sure every move aligns with what the owners actually want for growth and risk.
All right, now we come to what might be the single most important lesson from Ideal's entire journey. And it's one they learned during a period they call the not-so-fun years, a time of some major strategic missteps. So, I'll just ask you directly. As a director, what is the single most powerful tool you have to make sure you're truly fulfilling your fiduciary duty to the company and to its owners? What's the one thing? The answer is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Formal, third-party CEO evaluations. And look, this is not just some HR check-the-box exercise. This is the fundamental mechanism for real accountability. And this quote, wow, it just drives the point home with chilling clarity. A CEO who doesn't want to hear feedback, pair with a board that's just kind of sitting back, that is a recipe for disaster. Jude makes the point that, yeah, an evaluation costs some money, but that cost is nothing, literally nothing, compared to the price you pay for years of bad strategic decisions. It's an investment in not driving off a cliff. Okay, so let's boil all this down into an actionable toolkit. These are the critical questions we should all be asking, whether we're thinking about joining a family business board or just reevaluating our current role. So first, you have to assess the family governance. Is there a functional family council, or are you about to walk into a real-life episode of Succession?
Second, you've got to gauge the real appetite for change. What's their actual track record with innovation, not just what they say? And third, figure out how to honor the legacy. The key is to frame change not as tearing down the past, but as building the next great chapter on top of it.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one to take with you. As a director, as a steward of both a legacy and a future, how are you making sure your board isn't just a museum curator? How are you, right now, actively building the architecture that will let this business thrive for generations to come?